I'd like to welcome all of my replay viewers and to all of my live viewers. Thank you all for joining in. This is Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, like I like to call it. My name is Roger Green, for those of you that are new to my scopes. I'd like to welcome you in. Glad to have you. Hope everybody's doing well today. Again, my name is Roger Green. I'm an author, a life coach, public speaker. And today I want to talk to you on the topic of the 7 keys of preparation. 7 keys of preparation. So if you're just joining in for the first time, definitely throw up your hand and say that you're new so that I can acknowledge you and see who you are. I love when I have newbies in the room. So if you're new to the room, definitely let me know that you're new. I appreciate those that are tapping on the screen. That'll give me hearts as well. What's going on, Deborah Lane? Thank you for joining in. Glad to have you on the scope on tonight. Hope you're doing well. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the 7 keys of preparation. It's always good to have good folk on the scope. Hope everybody's doing well. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Newbie, what's going on? How you doing? I think it's Osama 70. Glad to have you. Do I have any more newbies on the scope? If you could tell me where you're from. What's going on, Mrs. Cecil? Glad to have you on the scope as well. If you're just joining in, please share with your followers. Swipe up. If you have an Android device, swipe left to right. If you have an iOS device, what's going on, Tam Soul Purpose? Thanks for the hearts. Thank you for joining in. Very, very briefly tonight, I want to talk about the 7 steps of preparation, what I like to call the 7 steps of preparation. One thing that I've acknowledged and learned over time is being gifted is not enough. You have to be prepared. Being gifted means nothing. A lot of times we like to skate on just being gifted or being talented, so to speak. Thank you all for sharing with your followers. You're so kind. Those of you just joining in, please continue to share with your followers. But a lot of times, like I was saying, a lot of times we try to skate off of our intellect or our gift and abilities, and we fail to prepare the way we need to do. And a lot of times the old adage says we don't plan to fail, but oftentimes we fail to plan. So a lot of times when a idea is not executed to the fullest potential, the greatest thing that we can most of the time link it to is preparation. The lack of preparation is sometimes the single most important thing that is linked to the failure of an initiative. So I definitely appreciate all of you joining. If you're just joining in, my name is Roger Green. We like to call these segments Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And today we're talking about the 7 keys of preparation. So for those of you that are working, whether it's in the business sector or in the church world, or you have some type of personal venture that you're working on, we're going to talk about the 7 keys to preparation. So I'm going to list those and then I'm going to come back to them. Number 1, you have to take it step by step. Number 2, you have to organize your time. Number 3, you have to educate. Number 4, you have to organize the information. Number 5, you have to anticipate problems. Number 6, you have to think positively. And number 7, you have to create proper habits. All right. For those of you just joining in, what's going on, Aisha? Glad to have you in the place. This is Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. My name is Roger Green. I'm an author, keynote speaker, as well as life coach. And I'm talking today about the 7 keys of preparation. If you're just joining in, please share with your followers. I mentioned to the earlier folk that were on, and if you're on the replay, you can fast forward a little bit if you like. We talked a little bit about how your gift really is not the most important. Hey, glad to have you. Glad to have you. Definitely. Where are you from? Tell me where you're from if you're new to my scope. I love to interact with the people that are new to my scope. So tell me where you're from. So the 7 steps of preparation, we said basically that your gifting and your abilities can only get you but so far. There comes a time when you have to really learn how to prepare. And it's your preparation sometimes that gets you to the next level that you want to get to. A lot of times we try to ride off of our expertise and our ability. Glad to have Birmingham in the house. I love folk from Birmingham. I love the food from Birmingham too. Glad to have you, ATL. Glad to have ATL in the house. ATL is about 3 to 4 hours from me. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then Birmingham is probably, I'm guessing, about 6 hours away from Charlotte. So glad to have you all on the scope. But a lot of times we try to fly by the seat of our own pants, and we try to you just wing it and fake it till we make it. And a lot of times our abilities only take us to a certain level because we don't necessarily prepare for the greater things that wants to be done in our lives. And a lot of times what we do is, because of our lack of preparation, we fumble and we scramble around, and we never seem to get the initiative off the ground the way we want to do. So I wanted to give you 7 tips or 7 keys when thinking about preparation. When I'm thinking about, a lot of times I use a lot of sports analogies because I'm a sports nut. But when I'm looking at, someone like Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Michael Jordan in his prime, it is said that a lot of times, sometimes those guys will shoot up about 1,500 shots per practice. And, I'm saying that right, 1,500 shot attempts per practice. Now, in the natural game that they play, some of the superstars may only shoot up 30 shots per game. So their preparation, they're preparing 1,500 opportunities for the eventual 30 opportunities that they will get in the game. And what that shows us is your preparation has to be so rigorous that you should prepare greater than the actual performance. And what I'm saying is, if they're going to perform with 30 shots, then they're preparing with 1,500. How many of you have that rigorous of preparation to where if you're preparing for a 1-hour speech or 1-hour keynote, that you're preparing 3-4 hours for that 1 hour? Or even more than that, 8 hours. Some people will prep 8 hours for a 30-minute keynote to make sure that they're in an adequate space and have pretty much mastered what they want to talk about and what they want to do. So a lot of times, like I said, we don't plan to fail, but we fail to plan. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. So those of you that are just joining in, please share with your followers. And if you've just arrived because one of your friends have recommended me to you and you're not following me, please, by all means, follow me. Hit the little Perry dude on the right hand side and follow me at this time. I would love to be able to share with you on a daily basis some of these scopes. All right. So the 7 steps, I listed them for those of you just joining in. I'll take them step by step. Number 1, it is literally take it step by step. Whenever we're preparing, you need to literally write down step by step how you envision the process to happen. Preparation is a process. So preparation requires several stages in order to be able to properly execute the way you want to. You need to plan out step by step, systematically, what you want to do to accomplish the goal. If you're going to write a book, you need to plan out step by step. Okay, how am I going to do the introduction? I need to have an outline, how the chapter is going to be. Am I going to have someone write the foreword with me? Or, am I going to have a preface? When I get finished writing it, who's going to do my editing? When I finish my editing, how am I going to, what time frame am I giving myself to put it on copyright? How am I going to get my ISBN number? Yes, writing brings clarity. Absolutely. Don't never go into something just arbitrarily with everything in your mind. Write it down so that you can be detailed. In fact, the Bible said it this way in Habakkuk. It said, write the vision, make it plain. All right. Why am I making it plain? So that he that readeth it may run. You're able to run once you know what the orders are. And a lot of times when we're trying to delegate responsibilities with people within our organizations or people that we are leaders over, sometimes the reason why things fall short is because we don't make those initiatives clear and plain to what we need to be done. So take it step by step. You want to take it systematically, step by step. Factor in how much time and how much resources it will take to complete the task. I'll say it again. Factor in how much time and how much resources it's going to take to complete the task. And what I find out a lot of times when people embark on a particular project, they don't count the cost. And what I mean by count the cost is not just money resources, but time resources. So a lot of times we get discouraged in the process because it takes a little bit more than what we thought it was going to be able to take. So when you're planning and your preparation, count the cost. How much time is this going to take me? How much money is it going to take me? How much manpower is it going to take me? If I need to have collaborations, count the cost. All right. Number 2, organize your time. Organize your your time. Oftentimes we love to find things to do, but we don't always have time to do it. So when you organize your time, you're able to decide, is this something that I can put on my plate right now? I'll tell you right now, as busy as my schedule is, I have to plan out my scopes. I have to literally day by day know when I'm going to scope and how I'm going to scope. Very seldomly do I just pick up the phone and just jump into the scope. Sometimes I do, but very seldomly do I. Why? Because I have to organize my time, and time management is very, very, very essential. And for those of you that are multipreneurs, meaning that you have multiple ventures and multiple tasks going on at one time, you definitely have to organize your time in order to be prepared and not thrown off. And most of you who are very into time management, if the slightest activity comes into your life that you had not planned for, it will throw off everything. So oftentimes what we find out is the reason why we can't get things off the ground is because you're throwing things in there that's throwing monkey wrench into other things that you've already planned. So make sure that you organize your time. Number 3, educate. And what I mean by educate is educate yourself on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to be the best entrepreneur, find a way to educate yourself concerning the best entrepreneurial ventures. Thank you for joining in. Glad to have you. If you're just joining in, please share with your followers. We're talking about 7 keys of preparation, whether you're preparing for to do a scope, whether you're preparing for a next business venture, whether you're preparing for whatever in your life. These are 7 keys that should help you in your preparation. Educate yourself. None of us know everything. That's the first thing to realize. I don't care how long you've been in your business. I don't care if you've been in your business 20, 30, 50, 40, 60 years. You will never know everything, and things change so rapidly. Glad to have you, Brother Reggie, Apostolic 66. We're talking about 7 keys to preparation. We're on number 3 for those of you just joining in. We said number 1 was take it step by step. Number 2 was to organize your time. Number 3 was to educate yourself. None of us know everything. The old songwriter says time is filled with swift transition. None on earth unmoved shall stand, meaning that it's constantly changing in life. So whether you've been in ministry or whether you've been in business 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you don't know everything. Things are constantly changing. So you have to constantly educate yourself on the subject matter. Find out ways to learn more. And you educate yourself not just with book smarts, but with experts in the field. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to realize that you need a mentor. I'm scared of leaders who don't have mentors. I'm scared of leaders who don't have leaders. Y'all not going to hear me. I'm very scared of them because chances are they're going off of their own intellect and they're not getting guidance from anyone else. The Bible says in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. And it is implied in that scripture that in the multitude of good counsel, there is safety, because you can have counsel. But if it's not good counsel, good godly counsel, then that really is not safety. So the writer there is implying in the multitude of good counsel, there is safety. So educate yourself, become the student for once instead of being the teacher always. If you want to be prepared, become the student for once and not always be the teacher. That's where many people err. They only want to be the teacher. They only want to be the leader. They only want to be the one that's constantly pouring in, but they're never allowing people to pour into them or to educate them. So be educated by finding people who are experts in the subject matter and learn and glean from them. Number 4, organize your information. A lot of people are very knowledgeable about a lot of things, but they don't organize their information. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. They don't organize the information that they have. Knowledge is power, but if you don't know how to harness and use that power, then it's really all for naught. It really doesn't benefit you. You're inspired. Also, I'm glad you're inspired. For those who are just joining in, please share with your followers. So organize your information. Once you've organized your steps, managed your time, gathered the best information, and you've managed your time, you'll find a way to organize what you've learned. I call it chewing out the meat and spitting out the bones, finding what applies for you. Everything that you learned might not necessarily apply to your business or your church or your organization, but there is some valuable information that you can eat and spit out the bones, whatever is not applicable to your life. What's good in Charlotte, North Carolina may not be good in upstate New York for Brother Reggie. So I have to sometimes eat the meat and spit out the bones, organize the information, understand my demographic, understand the age group and the sex and the socioeconomical dynamics to the thing when I'm organizing the information. Once I've gathered all this information so that I can be properly prepared to reach the group that I'm trying to reach. All right, number 5. This is the key one, and it might be number 5 for a reason. 5 in scripture is the number for grace. So number 5 is anticipate problems. Anticipate problems. Whenever you're preparing for something, always anticipate problems. Always anticipate Murphy's Law. Always anticipate that something may go wrong. And if something goes wrong, then let me be able to compensate and be able to adjust quickly on the fly. Nothing is better than being able to be prepared for it, whether it's being prepared financially, being prepared with extra hands to help you for whatever venture you need, being prepared for extra time. And what I mean by that, we talked a little bit about organizing your time previously. I believe that was number 2, organizing your time. When you organize your time well with preparation, you will allot for things that may go awry. You know, I've been in real estate for about 15 years, and I've helped my father even build several construction projects. And with that, a lot of times when we go into it, not only do we have a specific budget in mind financially, but we also have a specific time allotment for the project. And normally we try to be not conservative. We try to be liberal with that so that if something goes wrong, we have allotted time to be able to adjust. So anticipate problems, prepare for the unexpected. Instead of being in shock and awe when something happens, be prepared for it. Recognize that, you know, I'm preparing for something negative to happen. But if it doesn't, then thank God, you know, but I was prepared nonetheless. Number 6, think positively. Think positively on a daily basis. Speak positively and think positively. Your thinking positively is connected to your speaking positively. A lot of what we believe is connected to what we hear. That's why I talk a lot about not having certain people in your ear speaking negatively, having positive people in your ear speaking positively, because a lot of what we believe is connected to what we hear. Even in scripture, it said, your faith cometh by hearing, and hearing the word of God. So your faith is connected to what you hear. Your belief is connected to what you hear. If you don't hear the right things, you won't believe the right things. Hello. What's going on? Kel May at My Red Rose. Y'all please follow her. She does some great business scopes. So like I said, think positively. A lot of what you believe is linked to what you hear. If you hear something good, you'll believe something good. So on a daily basis, constantly speak positive affirmations. Don't feed into negativity. Surround yourself around positive, optimistic individuals that will encourage you and challenge you to greatness. Whenever, if I'm going to get opposition, if I'm going to get challenging, I want people who are going to challenge me to greatness, not people that are going to challenge me through negativity, constantly second guessing my vision, constantly second guessing what I know God called me to do, constantly second guessing my business model. I need people that's going to challenge me to greatness, not be pessimistic. So that's number 6. All right. Number 7, create proper habits. This is the last one, number 7. For those of you just joining in, we talked about 7 keys to preparation. Number 7, create proper habits. That's eating well, sleeping well, exercising. Part of preparing for greatness is being prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally. Nothing prepares us for the day-to-day rigors like having the proper amount of rest, the proper diet, proper amount of exercise, and being a complete holistic person. So those are the 7 keys to preparation. If you're preparing for a scope, if you're preparing for your day, if you're preparing for a business venture, whatever you're preparing for, number 1, take it step by step. Number 2, organize your time. Number 3, educate yourself. Number 4, organize the information. Number 5, anticipate problems. Number 6, think positively. And number 7, create proper habits. Those are the key things that you want to consider whenever you're preparing for any venture. As I mentioned to those that came in early on the scope, I said, reason why we have to prepare is because our gifts are not enough. Being gifted, being skillful, being talented is not enough. That will only get you so far. You can't fake it till you make it, but so far. You can't fly by the seat of your pants, but so far. You have to sooner or later prepare in order for you to take that next step. So if you're at that point where you're hitting your ceiling and it seems like you're not going further the way you want to go, I would submit to you it's probably linked to and connected to your lack of preparation. So begin to prepare and learn how to prepare yourself for that next level. You can't go to that next level until you're prepared. And the example I'll give you before I leave, it's like that college exam that you didn't prepare for. That's like me skipping all of the lectures the entire semester and getting to the final exam and thinking that I'm going to ace that course without being prepared. If I get to that point, my talent and my gift and my intellect will not take me to the next level. Why? Because I'm not prepared for that exam. There's some exams, there's some tests that's going to happen in your life that if you're not prepared for them, you will fall and flounder, and you won't have anybody to blame but yourself. Stop making excuses. Stop blaming your circumstance. Stop blaming your haters. Stop blaming, somebody did me wrong in 1978. Listen, stop blaming those things. The reason why many of us have not succeeded and are not going to the next level is we're not prepared for it. And that takes discipline. That takes structure. That takes you getting over apathy. And I told someone earlier today that, listen, apathy breeds mediocrity. I'll say that again. Apathy breeds mediocrity. If you want to be mediocre, be apathetic. You want to be mediocre, don't prepare. You want to be mediocre, try to fly by the seat of your pants. You want to be mediocre, just think that your gift will just get you through it. No, don't do that. Learn to prepare, learn to put yourself strategically in a place where you can advance and grow and excel. Why? Because you took those 7 steps. And I'll recap for those of you just joining in. I'll recap for the last time. There's 7 keys to preparation. Number 1, take it step by step. That means write the vision, write it out step by step before I get into a venture. Write it out what you want to do. Give a plan. Count the costs, not only monetarily, but time resources. Count those costs. Take it step by step, systematically in your brain, how you want this thing to function. Number 2, organize your time. If you're a multipreneur or if you're just a business person or a very busy person, you have to organize your time. Most of you wear multiple hats. You're a business owner. You're a wife, you're a mother, you're a father, you're so on, you're a friend, you work heavily in your church, you might volunteer within the community, so on and so forth. You have various hats that you wear. You have to organize your time, because if you don't organize your time, what will happen is every time you add something new to your list, it will throw a monkey wrench in all of the other activities that you're doing. And that's what you're finding yourself stretched thin. You're finding yourself stressed out. You're finding yourself overwhelmed. You're finding yourself in a place where it seems like I don't have enough time in the day. Why? Because you didn't organize your time and you keep adding to your plate without necessarily taking something off to your plate or counting the time that you need. All right. Number 3 is educate yourself. You can't always be the teacher. Sometimes you have to be the student. Educate yourself. Get yourself around people who are of great value to you, that are at a higher level than you. Why? Because they can bring you up to that level. You can never constantly be around people who are beneath you in their level. Why? Because they can never raise you up. I believe you can learn something from everybody, but you shouldn't continually be around people who know less than you, are less farther along than you, less knowledgeable than you, because on a consistent basis, they're not going to be able to pour into you. And I talked to you about it in other scopes. You want to have a connection, not an attachment. A connection pours into you and you're able to pour into it. An attachment draws from you. So find out a way to educate yourself. Don't be the teacher all the time. Be the student sometimes. Number 4, organize your information. A lot of you are very knowledgeable about so many different subjects, but you got knowledge all over the place. You haven't organized your thoughts. You haven't organized what you've learned. You haven't been able to really process the information because you just got everything on your brain, and you've heard so many lectures. You've heard so many keynotes. You've heard so many sermons. You've heard so many scopes that you haven't been able to organize your information. Organize the information. Compartmentalize. Put it in organizational informational standpoint to where you can really grab it and it can be beneficial to you. It's really not beneficial to just have a clump of information that you can't do anything with. Be able to organize that information that you learn so that it can bless you. Chew the meat, spit out the bones. All right. Number 5. Anticipate problems. Go into your situations anticipating problems, anticipating something might go wrong. Your success is determined. Absolutely. Who you're surrounded with. Absolutely. Y'all follow Lady Meriwether. She's a great keynote speaker as well. She's getting into scopes. Just did her first scope on yesterday. And I'm very, very happy. Number 4 is organize your information. Number 4 is organize your information. Number 5 is anticipate problems. All right. Anticipate your problems. Be prepared for the unexpected. Instead of being in shock and awe, be prepared for it. So if it comes, you just like, no sweat. I anticipated the problems. I went into this realizing it may take me a little bit more time. It may take me a little bit more money. So I went into it prepared so I wasn't thrown off my rocker when something happened. All right. Number 6. Think positively. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You think it on a daily basis and things will begin to come to pass. I want you to begin to think it until you see it. All right. Say it until you see it also. Say it until you see it. I say that all the time. I tell my group here at the church, my core of leaders, I tell them the things that we want to do. So a lot of it is a faith walk, but we got to say it till we see it, because a lot of what we believe is connected to what we hear. That's why the scripture says faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. How can they hear if they don't have a preacher? In other words, how can they have faith if they're not hearing it? How can they even get the faith if someone's not giving them this good news in their ears? A lot of what we believe is based upon what we hear. So get the right things, hear the right things, and that goes on in line with having the right people around you. And number 7, create proper habits, whether it's eating well, sleeping well, exercising well, having positive thoughts. Create positive habits. Stop the procrastination. Stop putting off and making excuses. Stop, having feelings that you're not good enough. All of these things are bad habits. Sometimes we'll talk down about ourselves. Sometimes people will give us compliments. We'll say, oh, no, not me. I'm not great. I'm not good enough of a speaker. I don't know enough. No, I can't. You're making excuses and you're downing yourself. Trust me. It doesn't make you less humble to acknowledge your gifts. Understand, acknowledging your gifts doesn't make you prideful. Acknowledging your gifts is just the true nature of the beast. If you're gifted, you're gifted. By you acknowledging that you're gifted and you accepting people giving you validation does not mean that you're prideful. Where pride comes into play is where you believe that your gift is better than everybody else and that you really don't need nobody else and you really don't need God. That's when pride comes into place. But acknowledging your gift does not make you not humble. A lot of times we try to play this humble role, and I call it faux humility, where people are speaking highly of you. You say, oh, no, not me. Oh, no, I'm not great. Oh, no, I'm not gifted. No, stop doing that. Just say, to God be the glory. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate what God has put in me, because God has gifted you for such a time as this. There's nothing wrong with being gifted. If it was a sin to be gifted, God wouldn't have gifted you. God gifted you for this. He gifted you. It's not a sin to be gifted. It's not a sin to be great. What's going on, sis? Glad to have you in the scope. It's not a sin to be great. And don't let nobody guilt you into believing that being gifted, there's something wrong with being gifted and being good at what you do and knowing that you're good at what you do. Y'all follow my sister Purpose for this. Y'all follow her. She does some great scopes. So those are the 7 keys to preparation. As I close again, take it step by step. Number 2, organize your time. Number 3, educate. Number 4, organize the information. Number 5, anticipate problems. Number 6, think positively. And number 7, create good habits. All right. Hope you all were blessed by this. Hope somebody found this to be a benefit to their life. And I hope you go on and you're able to prepare a little better from this point on. I want to see you do great things. I want to see you go beyond your greatest expectation. If you need a little bit of help, if you need a coach, you need somebody to motivate you, I'm definitely a life coach and my rates are very reasonable. You can reach out to me at www.rogergreenjr.com. That's Roger, like Roger that. ROGER, green like the color. And when I say that, people still ask me, is that with the E on the end? I say green like the color. So Roger Green Jr., like my mama called me, Jr.com, rogergreenjr.com. All right, just a little humor to end us out of here. All right, so visit my website. You can find out information on some of my courses as well as my book, The Journey of Living Day by Day. And you can also connect with me if you want to link up with me to let me coach you and help you get to this next level and help you get to the next level in your walk, whether it's in ministry or business or you name it. I've had several years of experience in both, in business as well as in ministry, that I can help you and help coach you. And I tell people all the time, I say, when you let me coach you, I'm not going to try to get your money for the rest of your life, because I don't believe in babysitting people and holding their hands for the rest of their life. I'm a coach, not a psychiatrist. All right. So I don't plan to have you on the couch for 11 years trying to get you through your issues. No, I want to help coach you, get you to the next level, and then you move on and we grow together and you bring other people in and we all grow and go to the next level. So I want to help you get there, but it's the journey of living day by day. You have to take it day by day, prepare, be meticulous and systematic with your approach. All right. God bless y'all. I hope you have a wonderful evening and I'll talk to you soon.